Greetings to everyone. I'm Nikki Shane R. Pandoro, and we are gonna be talking about, or our topic is about David Hume. David Hume is a famous for the position that we cannot derive oath from is the view that statements of moral obligation cannot simply be deduced from statements of fact. Some see Hume as an early proponent of the emotivist meta-ethical view that moral judgments principally express our feelings. He also made important contributions to aesthetic theory with his view that there is a uniform standard of taste with human nature in political theory with his critique of social contractarianism and economic theory with his anti-mercantilist views. As a philosophical historian, he defended the conservative view that British governments are best run through a strong monarchy. So according here, table of state table of contents. First one is life, works and writing, virtues and values, principles, morality, ethics, and his best quotations. So, in his early education and philosophical formation in 1723 to 1737, during his time at the University of Edinburgh and later at the University of Glasgow, Hume was exposed to influential philosophical ideas, particularly those of the Scottish Enlightenment thinker Francis Hutcheson. This period laid the groundwork for his later philosophical inquiries and writings. Publication of a treatise of human nature in 1739 to 1740. This book marks a significant milestone in the development of modern philosophy, although it initially received little attention. This work laid out many of the foundational ideas that would shape his subsequent philosophical inquiries, particularly regarding empirism, causation, and the limitations of human understanding. Later philosophical works and recognition in 1748 to 1776. Following the initial publication of the treatise, Hume continued to refine and develop his philosophical ideas. Works such as An Inquiry Concerning Human Understanding, published in 1748, and An Inquiry Concerning the Principles of Morals, 1751, presented his ideas in a more accessible format and garnered greater attention. During this period, Hume also held various positions, including keeper of the Advocates' Library in Edinburgh, which provided him with financial stability and allowed him to continue his philosophical pursuits. His later works, including The Natural History of Religion, 1757, and the Dialogues Concerning Natural Religion, published in 1776, further solidified his reputation as one of the most important philosophers of the Enlightenment era. So continuing in his works and writings, David Hume wrote several influential books, but here are five of his most notable works along with brief explanation of each. The first one is a treatise of human nature, published in 1739 to 1740. This is Hume's first major philosophical work and is considered one of the most in, important in the history of philosophy. In the treatise, Hume explores various aspects of human nature, including perception, causation, morality, and the nature of knowledge. He famously presents he famously presents His empirist's views and arguing that all knowledge is ultimately derived from sense experience. The second one is an inquiry concerning human understanding, published in 1748, written as a more accessible and condensed version of his early treatise. This work presents Holmes' philosophical ideas in a more digestible format. In an inquiry concerning human understanding, Hume examines the limitations of human understanding, particularly regarding causation and induction. He challenges the notion of causality as a necessary connection between events and argues for a more skeptical approach to knowledge. So the third one is an inquiry concerning the principles of morals, published in 1751. Building upon his ethical theories presented in the treatise, Holmes' inquiry concerning the principles of morals explores the foundations of morality. Holmes rejects the idea that reason alone can determine moral principles and instead argues that moral judgments are based on sentiments such as sympathy and approbation. He develops a theory of moral sentiments, suggesting that our moral judgments arise from emotional responses to action and their consequences. The fourth one is The Natural History of Religion, published in 1757. In this work, Home examines the origins and evolution of religious belief. He offers a naturalistic explanation for the development of religious ideas, arguing that they arise from human fears and desires, as well as from the need to explain natural phenomena. Holmes' analysis in the natural history of religion contributes to the development of comparative religion and the study of religious psychology. So the fifth one is the Dialogues Concerning Natural Religion, published in 1779. This work takes the form of a dialogue between three characters and explores philosophical arguments concerning the existence and nature of God. Home presents a various perspectives on theism, atheism, and agnosticism. He critiques traditional arguments for the existence of God, such as the teleological and cosmological arguments, and raises questions about the limits of human knowledge when it comes to matters of religion. These five books represent some of the most significant contributions of David Hume to philosophy, covering a wide range of topics including epistemology, ethics, religion, and metaphysics. His works continue to be studied and debated by philosophers and scholars to this day. So, continuing, in his virtues and values, there is empirism and skepticism. For empirism, David Hume was a staunch empirist, meaning he believed that all knowledge is derived from sensory experience. Meanwhile, on skepticism, David Hume was known for his skeptical approach to various philosophical concepts, particularly regarding the limits of human knowledge. Principles association of ideas. According to Hume, when he experienced one idea, it naturally leads to the idea or ideas that are associated with it. Sentiment. According to Hume, when he perceives certain actions, we naturally have emotional responses to them based on our moral sentiments. Morality empirical basis. Holmes' moral philosophy is deeply rooted in empirism, the philosophical stance that all knowledge comes from sensory experience. Is a problem. Holmes, in his ethics, moral sentiment theory. Holmes' moral philosophy is often associated with his theory of moral sentiments, which emphasizes the role of emotions and feelings in moral judgments. consequentialism, and utility. While Holmes' ethics is primarily based on sentiment, he also introduced consequentialist considerations into his moral philosophy. So, to end this video, his quotations are: "Beauty in things exists in the mind which contemplates them. Reason is and ought only to be the slave of the passions, and can never pretend to any other office than to serve and obey them. To be a philosophical skeptic is, in a man of letters, the first and most essential to being a sound believing Christian." Continuing questions. 1 to 2 is what is the significance of Holmes' work, an inquiry concerning human understanding. 3 to 4, what is the is-ought problem as articulated by David Hume. 5 to 6, what role do sentiments play in Holmes' moral philosophy. 7 to 8, what is the title of Holmes' comprehensive account of British history. 9 to 10, what does Holmes' moral sentiment theory emphasizes? Thank you.